Hey, Hickok 45. We're going to do a little comparison here and give you a look at the CZ P-09 and the XDM 525, both 9mm. Recently we've been experimenting with the CZ, the P-09, and of course it's highly touted as it's a newer offering and holds 19 plus 1 round, which is a lot of ammo, a lot of capacity. And it occurred to us, well, I've got a gun in the safe that holds 19 plus 1, and it is the XDM 525. I just got it out and was comparing them a little bit and thought, well, you know what, this might make a worthy video, because they both have the same capacity. I would have guessed the XDM 525 was a lot bigger. We think of it as a competition gun, I think, and that's kind of the way it's marketed and touted. But look at this. These are both nice guns. You've seen them both, I hope. You better have. But if we put them, let's see, back to back here, rearward. But first of all, you can see they're the same length in terms of the grip. When you put the magazine in, they're especially, the right guns, I believe they're exactly the same height. Yeah, there you go. You can see that is very, maybe a hair's difference. So on the height, and then got them kind of lined up from back. The back is, let's get it even. There we go. Okay. So, oops. So you see they're basically the same length. The XDM is just a hair longer, just a tad. Actually, I've got it back a little bit there. So not much difference. I mean, nothing in any practical sense that would make a difference, right? So length and height, they're essentially virtually the same, and they both hold 19 plus 1. Hence why I'm here with both of these firearms. Well, let's just do a little compare. If you're looking for a bigger gun in 9mm that holds 19 rounds in a flush magazine, well, obviously, it's like you're looking for a car. You're looking for a vehicle that will do a certain thing. Well, what other cars would do that? Would haul this, or I could pull a boat on, whatever. So you want to consider all possibilities. And size-wise, there's not much difference. And they're just both big, high-capacity 9mm firearms that shoot well and are fun to shoot. Okay, I don't know if you're looking for one of these as a carry gun, but they're both great shooters, and we know that, don't we? So let's go ahead and shoot one of them. How's that? Let's try it out. Okay. Now I'm shooting some Arms Corps 124 grain ammo, and that's all we're shooting here in these. So let's just take a couple of shots with the XDM. All right. Oh, Mr. Cowboy. Nice. Mr. Gong. Feels good. I'm going to lay it down hot, and I'm going to try this one now. Okay, Mr. Cowboy. Mr. Gong. Okay, decocker. They both work. This one, I will say, it feels to me, get that round out chamber, the recoil is absorbed a little bit more. Okay, that's my impression of that one. This one, I noticed, not that a 9mm recoils much, right? But I do notice a little bit more recoil, if you can really talk about recoil with a 9mm, with this one. And I think here's the reason for that. I just happen to have my handy cooking scale here. I do a lot of cooking. And let's weigh. We don't have a magazine, so we'll keep it even. The XDM, 1 pound, 9.5 ounces. Let's try that again and think if we were getting, 1.9.5, 1.9, 3/8. I think it was hitting earlier. 3/8. And so about 1.9.5 pounds. Let's try the CZ, so we get 1.11 and 3/8. So that's pretty much what we were getting before recording. We were getting a 2-ounce difference, and that would be in the slide primarily. So we have a heavier slide on the CZ P-09. All right, and you wouldn't think a couple ounces would make that much difference, but it does. It definitely does. So another thing here, before we shoot it again, I will show you. Now, even though when you line up, you stand them up, you know, side by side here, and in terms of length, you stand them up. That XDM slide is not much longer, but you notice the barrel length is much different. It's interesting because on the left you have the CZ. The CZ is 4.5 inches long. The barrel is. I think it's 4.53 technically. So it's 4.5 inches, and the barrel on this is longer. If you line up the chambers, let's say the front of the chamber of the barrel, look at the difference there. See. So the barrel on the XDM is longer. Now I don't know how long the barrel is on the XDM. I guess it's about 5.25. You think inches? I bet it is. So it's over 5 inches long, 5.25, and so you get more barrel length out of that, for essentially the same length, just a little bit more length. Got more weight in this, and just a tad bit more length on this one. So interesting. Now, in terms of course, what you have now, the other biggest difference between these two firearms is the trigger mechanism. You have a double. To single action. I'll decocked it manually. Double action, first shot, and then of course the slide's going to cock it. So from there on, it's single. As with a Beretta 92 or SIGs, most SIGs, and those types of firearms. H and K, I think most of them are like that. And of course with the XDM, you got a striker fired pistol, where every pull is the same, like with a Glock or M&P, and those striker fired firearms. So it would be the same pull, right? So a lot of with these two, if you're looking for a big, large, high capacity firearm, you have with a large capacity firearm, if that's what you're looking for in a large gun, then that's just something you have to think about. Now you notice the sight radius on this one is longer too on the XDM. You put the sights together there, so you got a longer sight radius. So, and of course that's one of the things you look for in a competition pistol. This CZ is considered a duty pistol, whereas this is generally considered a competition gun. Although I believe from my reading that this doesn't really have a competition trigger in it. It's basically the XDM trigger. A lot of people change out the trigger or have it worked on. But so you could call it a duty trigger, I guess, just like that one. So what makes a gun a competition gun? What makes a gun a duty gun? We could debate and argue about that, couldn't we? But you definitely for a duty gun don't want a hair trigger on it, or extremely light trigger, which the 525 doesn't really have. It has a pretty nice trigger, but it's not exceptionally light or anything. It's a pretty good trigger. Okay, so let's shoot them a little bit more, see what we think. I've not shot them side by side until today, so we'll do a little more of that. I'll put the ammo back in, both of them, because when you start out with 19 rounds, you know what that means? It takes a little bit to empty them, doesn't it? Let's try a 2-liter with this one. And let's try the red plate. There we go. Took me a minute to get it up on it. All right, let's leave it hot. It ought to be hot. Its heat index is 99 right now. Let's do the same thing. Let's try the 2-liter. All right, 2-liter worthy. Now let's try the red plate. Now this one I have to hold down a little more, I think. I don't remember exactly where, but I almost have it holding the dirt. I know it shoots a real 6 o'clock hold, and shoots a little bit above point of impact. I'll try a couple more times. I don't want to make it look bad, because I was popping the plate with it, I know, the other day. There we go. You're always at the mercy of just how I'm shooting, obviously, on a given day, and so that's never a reflection necessarily on a firearm, right? So they're both hot now. So let's empty both of them. We're still with the P-09, I'm gonna put it in this holster. It's decocked. And let's just shoot some stuff here. Took me a little while to start actually shooting stuff, didn't it? I was throwing lead, but I wasn't actually hitting anything. Okay, same holster, my do-all holster here. Oh, 12 ouncer. Couple of them, huh? Oh, that one was about empty. I didn't realize that. We just happen to have more ammo. Oh, Mr. Gong, you need a bullet. Or two. And you know what? That turkey over there needs a bullet. What'd I tell you? What'd I tell you? And I think that chicken might need one. What did I tell you? Hey, this thing is a shooter. Yeah, it really is. Yeah, sweet. Okay, and they're both nice shooters. This one just really absorbs recoil. And now while it's fresh on my mind, let me take a few with it. Maybe take a couple left-handed here. Oops, got off. There we go. Nice gun. Let's try a piglet over there. A little oinker. Yeah. Try that red plate again. There we go. Oh, I forgot. I got that little bitty oinker over there to the left of the propane tank. Aha, we had one there anyway, didn't we? You hit the little one, can't hit the big one. Let's try the tree. Shouldn't be going around shooting trees so much, should I? I'll have the environmentalists after me. Okay, so two nice firearms. You know, again, there are other choices, of course, for a large capacity 9mm, but these, I guess, are fairly representative in a lot of ways. You know, the two big differences, or the big difference is, of course, the action, striker fired versus you know, hammer, single to double action or double to single action. And you know, again, I'm not sure it's a big deal that this one's considered a competition gun. It's like the Glock 34, Glock 35. We think of them as competition guns, but actually some police departments have adopted those as duty guns. And you know, you could do the same with this, you know, or that. So as Bill said, a rose by any other name is still smells as sweet. So whether you call it a duty gun or a competition gun, either one of these could fit the bill for either of those you know, assignments. They really could. So you have, you know, we've gone over all the features of them, of course. You got the decocker on this. You also can carry this one cocked and locked if you want, which is kind of important if you want to do that, because otherwise, you know, with your double single action, if you just don't want that double action at all, you know, you have that option with this, carrying it with a you know, the safety, the thumb safety there, ready to slip off like a 1911 and then pull the trigger. So that one has that option, as I discussed earlier in other videos. And they both break down pretty simply. I think this one breaks down a little bit easier. You know, with this one, you got to line it up, not too hard. You line up the notch, push the pin out, as you watched me do the other day, I'm sure, and you're ready to go. Let's just let's shoot one more magazine with both of them, and I'll not mix up the mags or the guns. So this is good training for me to shoot a double to single action firearm, and then switch to striker fired. Never know when you might need that skill, right? Let's put it in the do-all holster here, and let's just shoot. All right, double to single. Now let me try to hit something with the double action. Yeah. Pretty nice. 2 liter, guess what? Yeah, it's into you, huh? Sweet gun. And you know, we've shot this a fair amount, and it has been clicking on every cylinder. No problems with it. No problems. All right. Let's try the old 525 XDM. See if it's duty worthy. All right. Let's just go ahead and pop that gun. Nice. Yeah, boy. Either one of these firearms would be a joy for you to own. All right. So I'm not going to smash either one of them. I'm not going to badmouth either one. They both are great shooters. They're really high capacity. And I don't know that either one, well, I know that one hasn't. I've had this one for a good while. I don't recall any malfunctions, you know, but my mind is getting a little senile, but I really don't recall any malfunctions with it over the last couple of years since we've had it. And a great gun. Now you do get maybe more easily adjustable sights or adjusted sights on this one. You get your fiber optic on the front, some things like that. Again, because it's a little more deluxe and it's more money. I almost forgot to mention that. It is, I think, running around $700, something like that. Depending on where you buy these things, of course. And this one runs around $500. So this one's probably around 150, and just depending or more than the other one. All right, the XDM 525. So it just depends on what you want. They both have replaceable back straps. They both fit your hand like a glove. They both have good sights that are really highly visible. Any missing I do over there, it's me. I can see the sights. Actually, the sights on this one are probably a little clearer than the other one. This one's easier to pick up fast with that fiber optic, but maybe not as crystal a picture. You know, when you're really trying to zone in on something over there. This one you can really see clearly. But two fine pistols. You couldn't go wrong with either one of them. You know, CZ and Springfield, they're not exactly no names, are they? They both have a reputation for making good firearms. I really like them both. Pleased with them both. I would probably I would choose this one for competition, or if I had to choose between them, just because you know me, you know, if you've been around long, you know what kind of action I prefer, don't you? Yeah, striker fired. I really do. So that puts me in this one as far as a choice. But again, I know a lot of people don't feel that way. A lot of people swear by double single action. They want that first pull to be a long pull and then go to single action. Yeah, that's why there's so many happy SIG owners, right? And H&K and many other guns. So lots of different guns for lots of different folks with different tastes. So anyway, hope that helps you a little bit look at those two. Pretty interesting firearms. We just happen to have both of them right here, and not a lot of difference really in a lot of ways. Both high capacity, really high capacity. So anyway, life is good.